Hey y'all, I am back with another video to bring awareness and to share a little bit about my story on how I overcame narcissistic abuse. And I'm gonna just start here. So I'm gonna give you some ways and examples that my narcissistic ex abused me after 6 years of no contact. So for me, the first one that he manipulated me into thinking was the law. He manipulated me, my ex manipulated me to think that all police, all law enforcement was out to destroy the black family or destroy the black man. When in truly, he was the most unhealthiest husband, father that you could think of, very unsafe environment. So that is that one. The second one is saying that I did not love him, meaning how I changed. So over the course of years, I did admit to him that I changed. I became a woman. I wasn't the same young woman that he met when I was like 19, 20. So he would use words and say that, I changed and not for the best. So that would be another way he would manipulate me in the relationship and make me feel bad about myself. All right, so another one would be drug addiction. So drug addiction for me was just one thing, which was marijuana. And if my ex did not get high, he would use that as an excuse to abuse me physically and mentally. So I had to make sure that he had his meds, he had his meditation, and I would be good to go. And sometimes even when he did get a fix and was high, it would not help with his aggression, his physical and mental abuse towards me and my child. I have 2 children now, but at the time, just my daughter. So yeah, that unfortunately, drug addiction was not an excuse for his abuse, but he used that as an excuse to manipulate me. The next one would be discipline. So for me, my ex used discipline as a form of manipulation towards me, because he would use this to control, abuse, intimidate, and isolate me. This would be physical punishment and control, and he used this as a fear tactic. So if I disobeyed him, he would go discipline my daughter, punish my daughter. And if my daughter disobeyed him, he would physically abuse me in front of her as a form of control, again, and abuse within the home. So this was really not good at all. It put a lot of mental strain on me and my child, which we're still healing from right now. Food. So food is, I love food. Food is a big part in my culture. And, as you know, I love food. I cook. I learned to cook at a young age. My mom taught me how to do these things. And for me, when I was not pregnant, my ex and I, when we moved in together, I was able to eat all the vegetarian food that I love, like ice cream, anything that had no animal products. So I freely was able to eat what I want, excluding all the unhealthy ingredients. And as soon as I got pregnant, he put me on this strict organic diet, which I had no input on when grocery shopping. I had no input on the foods that we would cook for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had very little say-so on how much I could eat. Sometimes I would even be still hungry after I was fed. And he had control on all of the meal portions. Sometimes he would get the most, and I would sometimes still be hungry. Even my child would still be hungry. It was so bad to the point to where I actually physically seen like signs of malnutrition within myself throughout my pregnancy and within my daughter when I did get her back. And that's another story. So yeah, food was another way he manipulated me. Religion. So for me, my religion is so important. I take it very seriously. Like, as you know, I have did a lot of meditation and practicing on the most ancient type of religion or spirituality, they would call it, that you can think of, and that's Vedic. So I have been tapping in for almost, 14 years plus. And my ex would use religion as a form of control. He would physically punish me and he would destroy my altars. So one time he destroyed my whole altar. And as you know how important altars are for someone who's practicing spiritual meditation. It's like a sanctuary for you. It's a getaway. It's somewhere where you heal and you meditate. As you talk to God, one-on-one here. It's just like a prayer room. He would destroy my altar, and this one time I remember him doing like this, like literal blood ritual over my whole altar with his blood, and it really destroyed me. It destroyed my whole confidence. Like, I remember just crying that night and trying to figure out like what type of sadistic sadist is this? Like, how could you do this? I would never think to do something like that to somebody who I call my partner, wife, or someone who I loved in general. This was completely unacceptable, and it destroyed me. But as you know, I'm strong. I found a way to come out of that depression, and I had to secretly do my prayers after that. Like, I couldn't even pray and be into what I had going on, like as far as my altar and being just like normal in the house. I had to do everything secretly. My family, he would, before we moved in together, I would share stories about how I loved being around my family and how they helped me and my child, and just like cool adventures when I visited them. And then when we moved in, he would always get very angry and jealous. Like, he would start sharing like these horrible stories of him and his family and how he pretty much hated his mother. And I just would tell him like, that's not the relationship that I have with my mother. But I would get physically abused and mentally abused because he would manipulate me to think that my family was just like his, which they're not. Very close to my family. Other women, he forced me into this idea that polygamy was the best, and he actually forced me to financially support some of his girlfriends. And for me, I was not in agreement to any of it. He was completely in control of the finances and everything like that. So this is what I had to go through while living with him. This how another way he manipulated me. And my dance and fitness. So as you know, I'm a dance coach. I do dance and fitness, and I had passions and dreams of performing and teaching. And as soon as I got with him, I felt pregnant, but I still wanted to keep up that lifestyle. And he discouraged me. He would call me, names. He would discriminate against my age, my weight, my height, my color, just everything to get me to feel like I was not going to be able to do any dance and fitness ever again. So yeah, and then he wanted me to actually motivate him to be that same thing and to work out and to stay healthy and things like that, which was crazy. And the last thing is manipulation between me and my child. He would turn my child against me. He would tell her things secretly about me. He would just have secret discussions with her. And the last thing that he did to manipulate me would be like, he would treat me differently and treat her differently. So when he's treating her nice, he would treat me horribly. But yeah, those are the things that I have to share. I'll be back with some more information. Peace. And heal out there, guys. Peace.